Hello and welcome to Ecoholics. So sorry for the delay, there was a technical error. So here we'll start our topic. Our today's discussion is GI tags. Now what are these GI tags? It is the meaning of geographical indication geographical indications tag. Now GI is generally used for the country if their product is certain specific geographical location, origin, or they have certain specific use. So that use of geographical indication is, we can say, it is the indication of type of certain resources. So here we'll see what's the meaning of GI in further this lecture. The main topic for the discussion of this lecture is that India in 2020 to 2025, India is thinking or expected to roll out the new foreign trade policy. A foreign trade policy is for 5 years. So currently we are in the period of 2015 to 2020 foreign trade policy. Very important for the examination purpose. Now, in the next year that India is expected to announce its foreign trade policy for 2020 to 2025. The mandate is to accelerate the exports from the current level of $331 billion to $1 trillion. So this is the target, that our current export stands around 330 billion, and what India needs is, India wants to achieve the target of $1 trillion during this period of 5 years of India's foreign trade policy. Now here this is actually announced or said by the Piyush Goyal, that is the Commerce and Industry Minister of India. Now here the most crucial and the pragmatic instrument is GI. Can possible that India may achieve the target of 1 trillion exports by 2025. So this is the main, and here what I have actually taken this topic because GI tags can become the most crucial or pragmatic instrument in order to achieve this target of $1 trillion exports. Now first of all we need to understand what's the meaning of GI. So here we start that WTO members, because this tag is given by the World Trade Organization. If you see the WTO members and their nations, they are progressively recognizing the GI tags, geographical indicators, that are valuable marketing tools, especially in the global economy. Now these can be identified as the agricultural goods, or we can say the other like natural goods. Then we can say that the manufactured goods, or certain related to certain basic location, they are attaching to certain quality as well as reputation. So these are the things are important, and this come under the agreement of WTO, that is TRIPS agreement, trade related aspects of intellectual property rights. So this is a full form of the TRIPS. Now here the major concept that emerged from the countries, because if you see GI tags, the before GI tags, what happened, if you see certain countries, suppose the country called ABC, and this country emerged as certain, we can say, the other countries imitating their products. It means they were counterfeiting the products for the quick profit. So what, suppose for example a product is specialized especially in, we can say, in the United Kingdom, but other developing countries, they started copying this structure and they are actually availing quick profits. Thereby we can say they are actually hurting the image of the original product as well as the genuineness of that product. So loss for both the producer as well as the consumer. So these are the two important aspects why this GI tag started. Now there are certain examples of GI tag, like so GI tag products. There are certain examples. The first one we have is the champagne. So champagne is the GI tag and having the country for the France. The second one example is port wine, that is for Portugal. Third example is about Etivas and Gruyere cheese of Switzerland. Then the potato, Idaho potato. That is GI tag of United States of America. Like this, India is also having for Darjeeling tea. And other countries also availing these kind of things. Like where we have more commodities. Now you can understand they are getting the benefits of GI policy introduced by the World Trade Organization. So it means for Darjeeling tea, India is having certain amount of quality that they are maintaining. So Darjeeling tea, they cannot copy the formula of this kind of tea. Now you know that India recently announced India's come out with the GI logo for the first time. Here we can say it is on the basis of GI Act 1999. But if you compare it as the act actually 20 years ago, if you compare with this concept of logo with European Union developed 3 logos by the year 2002. But India can say that India does not restrict its GI to focused categories, but it extends to handicraft, clothing, manufactured product. So here we can say that India is way behind in reaping the benefits of GI tag, geographical indicator tag, in comparison to the developed countries. These developed countries are actually availing a lot of benefit and they are actually able to export as much as they want. So here the exporters, if you see the amount of export that they are getting, so these are huge. Like if you see the 2017 data, European Union exported around $17 billion of GI produced goods and sold around worth 70 billion domestically. So they exported around 17 billion and for the domestic consumption around 70 billion. So you can understand that European Union countries are getting benefit from the exports as well as the domestic market. So India should also avail these kind of benefits. Right now India is having in Darjeeling tea and also trying to have, that is in process of getting status for basmati rice. So for the two things that India is getting. Now although so far India has registered for 361 products, as we can say that only 15 belong to the foreign nations and 4 goes to European Union. It's only 4. So you can understand that a less amount of GI products that India is exporting. So India should actually expedite these kind of exporting. So that will actually help or that will foster the rural development. So rural development, especially we can say in the areas where these geographical indicator goods are produced. Now if we see the other kind of tags that India can actually achieve, now these kind of, we can say that if you see the upcoming India's foreign trade policy, the growing interest is thinking about the food and their origin. So food for the origin, that is very important. It actually ensures the quality of the goods as well as the area. It means the way it has been made in the world food market, so that create awareness, because you'll get the platform of World Trade Organization which actually promotes. So that is, as I said earlier in the initial time of this lecture, it is as the best marketing tool for the global economy, because if you want to sell your product at the global level, that must have the GI tag, and India is having 361 products under it till this date. So India is only availing the benefit at less than 1%, you can understand, or less than 10%, you can understand. So if you see that the European Union country that are large food importer, and India is having, among this 361 indicator, India is having a lot of food items as well. If we see, the European Union alone is the largest food importer bloc, which imports around $128 billion, that is in 2018, which is, we can say, 80% of that import they prefer to import from developing country. So India can avail the advantage, and India can export immediately, we can say, to the nations like European Union and other nations as well. Like India can start with the products like Alfonso mangoes or Feni of Goa, Miso chili, that can be the immediate start in order to get the more consumers. So if you have any doubt, you can ask, otherwise we'll wind up the session. That's a small session. So tomorrow we'll meet again at 10:30 p.m. from Monday to Saturday, based on the current economic analysis and discussion. So this is helpful because GI tag, we have already seen the question in UPSC preliminary examination. So you can expect certain points, especially in the mains examination, in the form of the, we can say, in the form of General Studies paper 2 International Relation, and General Studies paper 3 the Indian economy. So these are the topics will be helpful in your examination. So that's it for today, and thank you for tuning in. And so sorry for the delay that occurred due to technical error. So thank you for tuning in. Good night.